This is the story of a boy named Toby. If confidence could pay bills, Toby would be the richest man in Ibadan. So, grab your chin chin, let's dive right into the story. At 25, Toby was jobless, allergic to hard work, and permanently attached to his game console like a newborn baby attached to its mother. Meanwhile, his widowed mother, Mama Toby, was carrying the entire family on her head. She owned a small provision shop that paid the rent, bought food, settled electricity bills, and somehow still found money for church contributions and emergency expenses that appeared from nowhere like village witches. Every morning before the first cock crowed, Mama Toby was already awake. She would sweep, cook, open her shop, buy stock, attend to customers, and still come home smiling. To Toby, none of this looked difficult. Easy peasy, right? In his eyes, his mother simply sat on a chair all day selling milk and biscuits. Anybody could do that. Whenever she complained of being tired, he would laugh. Ah, mommy, what exactly did you do? Tired of what now? You sit down all day. Try my own. Gaming is stressful. Oh. Even his friends benefited from his foolish confidence. They would enter the shop, carry soft drinks, biscuits, bread, noodles. Toby would wave his hand like a billionaire. Take it. Mama Toby will understand. Mama Toby will look at the disappearing goods and say little, but each time her heart pinched. Then one evening, while serving a customer, she casually dropped a bomb. Toby, August meeting is next week. I am traveling to the village for 3 good weeks. Toby nodded carelessly. He couldn't care less. Okay. You will run the shop while I'm away. Ah, the customer buying pig milk nearly laughed. Mama Toby kept a straight face. So then our Oga, Toby, puffed out his chest. Is that all? 3 weeks? Mommy, this thing is easy now. Eh? You've been doing it for years. How hard can it be? Mama Toby smiled. After she traveled, Toby became the chairman. For the first 2 days, Toby felt like a successful businessman. He sat behind the counter, pressing his phone and nodding at customers like a CEO who had just acquired Dangote Cement Company. Then, reality wore 2 slippers and entered the shop. Almost everybody was owing money. The moment Toby asked for payment, stories began to fly around the shop like mosquitoes. Toby, your mother knows me now. Eh? Don't worry, I will pay. Toby, I will pay tomorrow. Toby, write it down in your mama's book first, okay? One woman even swore on her late grandfather's goat that she would pay before evening. Evening came, and the goat remained innocent. By the end of the week, goods were disappearing, but money was not entering. The shelves were becoming empty, while the cash drawer looked like he was observing dry fasting. Then, the supplier arrived. The man looked at him and asked one simple question. Where is the money for the last supply, Oga? Ah, after 10 painful minutes of explanation, begging, and unnecessary smiling, the supplier finally nodded and entered his vehicle and drove away. No payment, no new stock, no mercy. That was the day Toby discovered a shocking truth. Bread, biscuits, and noodles could not be bought with "I will pay tomorrow," so he had to shine his eyes. For the first time, he began to wonder how Mama Toby collected all these debts from these people without fighting, crying, or joining a prayer mountain ministry. If customers were trouble, wait till you meet Toby's friends, because those ones, they are natural disasters. These were the same boys he used to impress by giving free things from Mama Toby's shop. Now, they came daily carrying away soft drinks, bread, noodles, even detergent, whatever they wanted. Write it down, my guy. I'll pay you later now, eh? Later turned into next week. Next week turned into silence and avoidance. The moment Toby started asking for his money, friendship developed leg problems. One friend spotted him from across the road and immediately pretended to be on a very important phone call. Another one blocked his line completely. One even hid inside a barber shop when he saw Toby approaching. Soon, Toby was running around the neighborhood chasing fully grown men over one loaf of bread and two bottles of Coke. Every evening he returned to the shop exhausted, empty-handed, and wondering whether friendship was a scam invented by wicked people. For the first time in his life, he finally understood why Mama Toby never smiled whenever he said, "Don't worry, mommy, my friends will pay later." Just when he thought he was beginning to understand the business, life laughed and said, "Ha, you haven't even seen anything, my dear." He started with the freezer. He arrived at the shop one morning and discovered the freezer had suddenly stopped working overnight. Every ice cream inside there had melted into a colorful, sugary soup. As he was still mourning that loss, the electricity bill for that particular month arrived. Yeah? And let me tell you, it looked as if NEPA had mistaken Mama Toby's shop for a factory. Before noon, the gas finished while he was cooking at home. The next day, the landlord's agent appeared from nowhere. "Toby, your mother says she will balance this money. Eh? Pay us up." The man sat down comfortably, like somebody that had no plans of leaving. Then, a woman entered the shop and accused Toby of shortchanging her. While they were arguing loudly back and forth, another customer quietly walked out with 2 cartons of noodles. If this is not the definition of disaster, I don't know what is. Toby only noticed after the thief had vanished into thin air. To complete the punishment package, one church woman arrived smiling. "Toby, I'm here for Mama Toby's monthly contribution." At that point, Toby wanted to ask if the church accepted emotional damage. Because, it's too much. Every day brought a freshly woven problem waiting for him at the door. The boy who used to wake up at 10 a.m., stretch like a lazy cat, eat breakfast and all of that, was now opening the shop before sunrise and closing it long after dark. Even his game console sat untouched for days. For the first time in his life, he was too tired to play anything. His bed became very important to him. One afternoon, while desperately searching for money records, Toby found an old notebook hidden inside a drawer beneath the shop counter. At first, he thought it was just another account book, right? Then he opened it, and suddenly, the woman he thought he knew became a stranger. Page after page revealed things Mama Toby had never talked about. 5,000 naira for a neighbor's school fees, 3,000 for an elderly widow's blood pressure machine, monthly church donations, food items that were given quietly to an old man who lived alone down the street. What shocked him the most was that many of these people were the same people he used to complain about, the same people he called disturbances, the same people he thought were taking advantage of his mother. Then he kept reading. Every loaf of bread sold, every debt collected, every bill paid, every naira was accounted for. Nothing was missing, nothing was wasted. For the first time, Toby understood why his mother was always tired. She wasn't just running a small shop, she was carrying half of the neighborhood on her back, while somehow keeping her own home standing. Toby closed the book slowly. The guilt, it hit him harder than all the problems of the past 3 weeks combined. Because the woman he had been mocking and laughing at was doing the work of 10 people quietly and peacefully. 3 weeks later, Mama Toby returned from the village, expecting to meet maybe half of the same son she had left behind. You know, the same guy that woke up late, that believed running a shop was the easiest job in the whole world. The same Toby who used to ask, "Mommy, what exactly do you even do all day?" Instead, she found a young man who looked like he had just completed a 3-week survival reality show. He had dark circles under his eyes. His shoulders looked heavier. The shop was still standing, but barely. Mama Toby dropped her bag and looked around. And for the first time in years, Toby did not disappear to continue a game or hang out with his friends. He pulled a chair and sat down beside his mother. "Mommy, we need to talk." Mama Toby knew immediately that life had finally held a meeting with her son. He had finally grown. For almost an hour, Toby talked and talked. He told her about the customers who owed money and suddenly became Olympic runners whenever they saw him coming. He told her about the supplier who refused to release goods because promises could not be stocked on shelves. He told her about the freezer that died without notice and the ice cream that melted into colorful soup. He told her about the landlord's agents, electricity bills, church contribution, and the thief who carried cartons of noodles while he was busy arguing with a customer. Then he told her about his friends, the same friends that he had been giving free bread, free drinks, and free biscuits. The same friends he used to defend. The same friends who disappeared the moment he asked for payment. Mama Toby just listened and watched him. She didn't interrupt. She didn't say, I told you so, good for you. When Toby finally finished talking, there was silence. Then she looked at him and said softly, "So, Toby, what exactly do I do all day?" Hi, that one was below the belt. He just started laughing, you know, because he had just realized how foolish he had been. Then he felt to properly apologize. "Mommy, I'm sorry. Hey, I'm really sorry." He looked down at his hands and said, "I thought you were exaggerating. Oh. I thought you were just sitting in the shop. Oh. I thought money was just entering and all these people disturbing you were just wasting your time. I didn't know you were carrying all these things and even the time to help as much people as you do." Mama Toby reached over and squeezed his hand. And finally, Toby understood something that had been sitting right in front of him for years. The shop was never just a shop. It was school fees, it was rent, electricity, food, emergency hospital bills, it was church contributions, helping the neighbors, solving problems every single day while still finding the strength to smile and move. And his mother has been carrying all of these things alone. The guilt he felt was too much. You know, he finally saw his mother for all her sacrifices. And my paddies, from that day, things changed though. The game console stopped being the center of his life. He started opening the shop even before his mother woke up. When suppliers arrived, he attended to them. When customers came, he treated them with respect. The friends who only appeared when they wanted free things slowly disappeared from his life. And he started seriously searching for work to help his mother out with the bills. And whenever Mama Toby came home looking tired, Toby would bring her water, pull out a chair, and tell her to sit down. Then he would massage her legs. Sometimes she would laugh and ask him, "What happened to the old Toby?" And he would simply shake his head because there was no need to explain. Life happened and life had explained everything. And my paddies, that was how Toby became responsible overnight. The end. Moral lessons. Sometimes some people can never understand you except they walk in your shoes. So instead of trying to explain and explain, sometimes allow them to walk in your shoes just for one day, just for one night, or whatever the case may be. And I'm telling you, they are going to confess that Jesus is Lord. I hope you enjoyed this story. Yes, it has a lot of lessons to teach. Your kids can watch this one as well. So feel free to share it with your family members, your friends, your compound people, anybody at all. And I promise you, they are going to enjoy and learn a lot of lessons from this one. Kindly subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so. And please do not watch without liking. Always like, okay? It helps the algorithm to push the video to other viewers. Thank you so much for your support. I love you all. And I'll see you in my next video. Ngwanu. Bye.